let's get started. We have a question that's coming through email. Mukund writes in and he wants to know about a project on Ghodbunder Road. The project is called Raj Tattva and he says that this property would be used for his end use. He's looking for a 4 BHK flat in this project. He also wants advice on other options in the same market which will be ready for possession by 2018 within the same price bracket and of course with a similar configuration. He also wants to know your opinion on this particular developer. What would you have to say?
I think he's shortlisted a pretty decent option. Raj Tattva of Rajesh Lifespaces is a pretty decent project. Rajesh Lifespaces is a respected developer having projects across Mumbai in the central suburbs, western suburbs, as well as recently they've announced a project in South Mumbai as well. And in fact, very recently they've been funded by private equity fund promoted NBFC as well. So they've got a decent track record in the market. Ghodbunder Road is one area in Thane which is seeing a lot of investments in the last few years, and a lot of new projects have come in. This particular project is also on that road, and it is at a pretty decent location as well. In fact, a 4 BHK here would really cost upwards of 3 crores. Because the project is roughly quoting at roughly about just under 10,000 rupees a square feet. Super built up is about 3,100 square feet, and carpet is roughly about 1,900 square feet. There are subvention plans available with the developer as well. My sense is for a 4 BHK there are not too many other options available. Most other projects generally have 1 to 3 BHKs available. This is the only one which has 4 BHK in that exact vicinity. So my sense is he should consider it. I'm sure if he's looking at it from a point of view of staying here, this is at a decent level of completion as well. Hopefully by December 2017 he should get possession as well. He should consider this. I don't think for a 4 BHK there are other options available in the immediate vicinity.
Right, not too many options for 4 BHKs, and look at the prices over there. Like Mudassir said, this project is quoting a little under 10,000 rupees per square foot, and the prices on Ghodbunder Road are averaging around 9,651 rupees per square foot, which means your project in that sense is quite fairly priced for this particular market. Very quickly also, Mudassir, you mentioned that there are subvention plans available. But given the condition of the market that we are in at the moment, where real estate in effect is kind of recovering from a slowdown, and then that's when it was hit by the demonetization bombshell. Would you really advise buyers to go in for interest subvention plans at this moment?
See, developers which are properly funded and having a decent track record of deliveries, etc., shouldn't see a problem. In fact, with subvention plans, the developer does get funding at a decent, at decent stages from the owner as well as from the bank who is funding it. So there are no upfront funding available from the banks. Banks give them at every stage that they have proposed. So it's better for the developer as well as for the consumer to look at it. However, there are certain things that need to be looked at, and once somebody gets into a subvention plan, they should be aware of what they're getting into. One is that subvention plan does mean that the consumer or the buyer is actually taking a loan on his name. It's not a deferred payment plan where if you don't get delivery, there is no liability on you. The liability is on the buyer. That's one. Secondly, one has to check whether the cost of the subvention plan is being borne by the developer or the buyer, or is spread between the two. that shouldn't be totally passed on to the buyer. I'm sure either the developer should take it in today's market because there is a huge slowdown to spur sales, or they should have some kind of a sharing between the two, where the developer takes some cost and the buyer takes some cost of it.
And the other thing, of course, that all our viewers need to remember when they get into interest subvention plans, which, like we keep repeating on this channel, is a very, very risky thing to do, is also that, like Mudassir just pointed out, the liability is on you. What it essentially means is that, God forbid, the project gets delayed for whatsoever reason, and the developer stops paying the installments. In that case, you are the one who's liable for the installments not being paid. It will affect your CIBIL score, and it will affect your capability to get your credibility, in fact, to get, and that will affect whether or not you will get a loan and at what rate of interest you will get a loan in future. So that is something that you need to keep in mind before you get into these subvention plans. And of course, like we keep saying on the channel, ensure that you get the agreement vetted by a lawyer. That'll so that you can at least safeguard your rights when you are getting into plans like these.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/magicbricksnow. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at magicbricksnow. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/magicbricksnow.